He sells supplements. That's what he does. I'm selling supplements all day long. Alex Jones, Super Testosterone Booster 3000. I mean, Colloidal Silver. It turns you silver. There's a lady who's literally silver right now. We are no longer on Facebook. We have deleted the page.
Like we've been posting there anyway.
I think we didn't. It's like a calendar reminder is basically what it is, that your friends did something cool and you did not. That's what it is.
The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Yeah, boy! Oh, yeah, cats and kittens. Welcome back to The Commercial Break. I'm Bryan Green. This is the dear friend and co-host of the show, Kristen Joy Hoadley. Best to you, Krissy.
Best to you, Bryan.
Best to you out there in the podcast universe. Krissy and I currently depressing ourselves here in the studio watching My 600-Pound Life on TLC.
It's really sad.
That show has been on forever and ever. I think I've been watching it forever and ever. It is sad. It's formulaic. It's sad. You want to scream at the television. How did you do this? And why can't you seem to see what's going on? And I don't want to fat shame here on the show, as I've been accused of doing sometimes. I'm not. I hope I don't come across that way. But sometimes I might come across that way. But the reality is that on My 600-Pound Life, these people, I'm explaining to Krissy. So, okay,
yeah, because I don't really watch it.
People are usually over 600 pounds. There's few doctors in the country that will operate on someone this big because of all of the inherent dangers in operating on someone that's so unhealthy and got so many problems internally and externally, including skin problems, organ failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever it is they have going on. You can't be 600 pounds and not have health problems. Mm-hmm. So they come in and he'll say, okay, I'm putting you on a program. It's the Dr. Nowzalden program. You're going to go from probably consuming 15 to 20,000 calories a day to consuming 1,200 calories a day. Eating high protein, low carbohydrates or no carbohydrates. And then because this is an issue in their head, it's an obsessive compulsive need to eat. It's some kind of disordered eating, and you didn't get this way because, everything's sunny and bright in your head. You got this way because something's going on underneath all of this. And Dr. Nowzalden knows this, so then he tells them to go lose usually 50 or 60 pounds in a month or two, then come back and see me. And if you do that, then I will consider you for surgery. But that almost never happens the first go around. On a very rare occasion, it does. Somebody's really got themselves together. They really have decided this is it. I'm done. And they figure it out the first go. But usually we're like 2, 3, 4 visits in, and Dr. Nowzalden will tell them like it is. Point blank, he will always give them this speech. You are very fat. You're going to kill yourself. How does someone eat 5? He always says this. They'll be like, well, I'm just starving and I just needed something to eat. And he'll be like, you could not eat for 2 years and not be starving. He's like, yeah, it's true. You could not eat for years and you probably would not starve to death. And then he will eventually usually do the surgery on someone. And then they have some chance of losing a greater deal of weight really quickly. He'll put them on a liquid diet for a couple of months after they have the surgery. And Krissy asks, how can you be on a liquid diet for a couple of months? Well, they have so much fat on their bodies. That's what your body eats in order to create energy to live, right? So you're not going to die. When someone says you can only go 30 days without food, that's assuming that you're a normal human being with a normal amount of fat on your body. And we all have a few extra pounds, but these people are really extraordinarily obese. I mean, look, you see.
I don't even know how you finance your food.
I don't know. And a lot of these people don't have jobs.
That's what I'm saying.
They're living in poverty.
To eat that much, those many calories every single day, that's just, wow, that's a lot of money.
Here's the shame on us as a society, is that we have allowed the big industrial food complex here in America to get us to a point where you don't have to have a lot of money to fill your belly with thousands and thousands of empty calories a day, because you could you could use food stamps to go buy 10 boxes of Debbie snack cakes. And I don't mean to point out Debbie, but fuck that snack cake bullshit. And each one of those has 500 calories. And you could eat those till you're blue in the face and still have money left over for Cheetos and Doritos and ice cream and all this other shit.
This is cheap food.
It's cheap food. Cheap food tastes good because it is literally manufactured to make your taste buds and your hormones to go crazy. Then they go crazy for it. That's why you can go to McDonald's, and I know this is a fucking fact, man. I have felt this before. You can go to a McDonald's or a Burger King or name your favorite fast food place, and you can go sit and eat a fucking meal. You know, Big Mac, large fry, milkshake, Coca-Cola, and 2 hours later, be hungry.
You're hungry.
Because your body's getting nothing what it needs. It's just getting empty calories. Yeah. That's right. So your body's still starving. So what is amazing to me about this show, after all of these years, my 600-pound life, after all these years of watching, is that there is no shortage of the next person to come on this show who is dealing with the exact same issue, who has gotten this large, just eating on their own. And you should see the meals some of these people consume. It's unbelievable. There's one, I'll never forget it. The guy was, as soon as his mom left the house, he was ordering 2 or 3 large pizzas, and he would eat those 2 or 3 large pizzas before the morning was up, and then his mom would bring him lunch, which would be like 4 or 5 Big Macs and French fries, and then at night he would order more takeout food, Chinese food, 3 or 4 dishes, and he would eat it all, ever to the last drop, and he would say, I feel sick after every one of these meals, but it's the only thing that comforts me. Yeah,
compulsion.
It's obsessive eating is essentially what it is, and the part that gives me a little bit, and I have sympathy for these people. Don't make it. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like these people. Like you throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're sick, like anybody else who's sick. You got a problem. You need addressing. You need professionals to help you come in, and we've all been there in some capacity. Maybe not with eating, but what really makes me feel even a little bit more sympathy for these people is you have to fucking eat. When you are doing heroin, you don't need to have heroin 3 times a day. You're not going to go to the grocery store and pick up heroin 3 times a day so you can survive, but you need food to eat. So when you have disordered eating, it can really throw you for a loop because you must confront your demons multiple times a day, and that's got to be really, really difficult. So happy Wednesday before Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you have a great meal tomorrow.
Speaking of the food additives, isn't that what Clark Griswold is? He's like a food.
He's a food additive business. Yes, he's in the food additive business. He's making that cereal a little bit more crunchy for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so we can
it's
get
about
that
time
pool.
to watch that movie.
Oh my God, is it? I was going to talk to you about this before we got wrapped up in my 600-pound life. I just realized this is coming out Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I'm probably depressing everybody about the meal they're going to have tomorrow. Don't worry, 1 or 2 very large meals ain't gonna. Like I'm a dietitian. Don't worry, you won't get fat over 1 or 2.
Okay. Thanksgiving doesn't count.
No, Thanksgiving never counts. Yeah, I'm on a diet right now too, and I'm gonna have to confront Thanksgiving in the only way that I know how, and that's to have 5 cheat days in a row. I fucking hate turkey too. Like turkey, like the tradition.
You hate turkey?
I do dislike turkey, and I think it's because I've only had it cooked really well. No offense to anybody whose turkey I've eaten once or twice in my life. My mom used to cook a turkey, and my dad would carve it up. They would team up to make it. And I do remember a few really good Thanksgivings when I was a child where I just loved that fucking turkey and gravy and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes with yams with fucking marshmallows and stovetop stuffing is the only kind of stuffing you need. Stovetop stuffing. And then, green bean casserole, rolls, fresh made rolls.
Pecan pie, pumpkin pie.
We used to have silk pie, French silk pie, which is just delicious. Fine with me. I do love a good apple pie with ice cream, though. That would, à la mode, as they say,
yes.
Krissy. À la mode. À la mode. God damn, do I love that. But the recent experiences I've had with turkey are just not good. I mean, for God's sakes, I think I got salmonella one Thanksgiving that almost killed me. I don't think it was from the turkey, though. I think it was from the pork. But if I had that turkey back when I was a kid, I think I would eat turkey every Thanksgiving. But usually the family has just decided that no one really cooks turkey well, so we're going to do something else. But this year, so every year for like the last 10 years, it's not been turkey. It's been tacos or whatever, lasagna, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
This year, we are braving the wilds yet again. We are going back to the traditional Thanksgiving meal, and we will see how it all works out.
Okay.
If you don't hear from me after Thanksgiving, then you know it didn't go well, because every Thanksgiving I seem to get food poisoning. So let's see what happens this year. But
why don't you just order a really good turkey?
From where?
Fox Brothers.
Well, we're not going to be near Fox Brothers, but I guess there's places that we could order.
There's tons of places that you could get like Thanksgiving meals from.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about here in Atlanta. We're not going to be here in Atlanta. But yes, there probably are. I think Publix does it too. I think Publix will cook your
Whole
turkey
Foods.
for you. Yeah, oh yeah, the Whole Foods does it. That's true. And man, what kind of gravy do you like?
I'm not a big gravy person.
I don't like pan gravy. I like that, shitty, nasty shit in a jar that you warm up. The
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's for me. I'm all about that. Give me that shitty, nasty, empty calorie gravy that we were talking about not eating.
Homemade gravy, and I like that.
Like pan gravy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm still though just not a gravy person.
That gravy, and then give me some mashed potatoes. They don't need to be anything fancy. I just want...
I'm not a big sauce or gravy person. I like the actual thing itself.
Yeah, I am the exact opposite. I like to cover my food in sauces. Anything sauce. Hot sauce, steak sauce, gravies. I don't know. There's something about...
I like a dip.
Yeah, well, no, dip and a sauce are two different things, but they're kind of in the same family, I think.
No, I like to dip into a sauce.
Oh,
you
like to dip into a sauce. Oh, you don't want to pour it on something. Oh no, pour it on. As far as I'm ladle it on. If I can not taste the thing I'm really tasting, I would really appreciate it. My wife is always making fun of me because there's always some hot sauce on the table, and I just smother my food in it, or barbecue sauce, or gravy, or whatever. I don't know. It's just me. I just like it like that. Yeah. Maybe it was my mom's cooking that turned me on all the hot sauces and gravies. Well, my mom was smart enough to smother her foods and gravies and sauces, maybe because, hey, listen, my mom was good for a lot of things.
Right.
A lot of things.
Everybody's not a good cook.
Food was not one of them. We had 4 go-to meals. We would have those. It seemed like every week. It was just like the same rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I survived. I'm here. I got a huge parathyroid out of it, but whatever. I'm kidding. So
happy day before Thanksgiving.
Happy day before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's going to have great plans. We're going to sit around, watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
That's such a classic.
It's always been something that I've done. Even when I was single, I would oftentimes get up. Now I watch the actual live parade, but they do it live, and then they'll repeat it right away, and then they'll have the kennel show, the dog show. So it's always been
that dog show too.
Like a personal tradition of mine that I've carried on now, the kids, to watch the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Just have it on in the background, watch it, check it out, listen to the shitty lip sync songs they do in front of the Macy's in New York.
They do.
Oh man, it's just always awful. Hey Santa, hey Santa. And now, from Lifetime's movie, I emailed Santa. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme and Mrs. Hollingsworth. They sing some stupid song that is terribly lip-synced. And then,
it moves along quickly.
3 hours. It does not move along quickly.
Well, no, it's usually just like a little, quick burst of something, and then they go to the next float.
Yeah. They keep it popping along. They've learned to keep it popping along. But it's 3, maybe 4 hours. I think it's 3 hours. Is it 4 hours or 3 hours? It's something like that. It's a long thing. But that's what's so great about it is it ushers in in my opinion, the Christmas season with a lot of fanfare.
It does.
I like to see the balloons. Every year they have new ones. I can deal with the shitty music because I get the Santa Claus and the Christmas trees, and so many people out there seeming like they're having a lot of fun. And they're usually wrapped up in some kind of gear because it's cold up there. It just seems it's very festive to me.
It is very festive. Wasn't there one year when they showered it with
confetti,
and it was people's IRS returns?
Oh, really? Is that true? Yes.
No, it was something sensitive, sensitive document.
Social Security records. Yeah. It's the plans for the 9/11 attack. Donald Trump's tax returns. Oh man, that's funny. I didn't know that. Yeah, okay, all right. And then so we'll rinse and repeat on that. That'll probably be on for most of the day. And then of course you got the kennel show, the 50th annual AKC.
I love that.
Best in show, whatever it is. And I'll tell you what, I have no fucking idea why Thanksgiving and the kennel dog show go together, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I do enjoy watching those dogs prance around like that. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It's cute.
And you know the movie Best in Show.
Oh God, one of my favorite movies.
Brilliant, from head to toe, beginning to end.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
It's just brilliant. It's it's Christopher Guest's best work. It's got to be. It's got to be. Besides Spinal Tap,
right.
It's got to be my favorite. But that or Waiting for Guffman's pretty good too. But so that Best in Show, the movie, they have the two commentators, one who's the straight guy, right? And I don't say straight like literally. I mean, he's like the straight man. He got what tells
He's
you about
not funny.
the facts. He's not funny. And then they always have in the Best in Show, they have a terribly goofy guy who's saying crazy shit. You know?
He's so great. He just died. Actually,
Eugene Levy?
Back. No.
Oh, no. Not Eugene Levy. What was his name?
I know.
Yeah. His son now does the... Oh, I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
He was wonderful.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he was hilarious. But when you watch the Kennel Dog Show, and watch it this year, guys and girls, watch it, because you realize that the reason why Best in Show is so funny is because it's actually true.
Right.
There's one loose cannon on the group who's always saying crazy shit. And the other guy's job is to kind of pretend like it didn't happen. It is really funny to me.
Oh,
it
God,
has
that
become
movie.
Comedy.
I might have to watch that.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You going to be at home?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're hanging out.
You're hanging out? The girls coming?
The girls are coming.
Yeah?
Yeah, Jeff's mom.
When are they going to
Have
be
a
in town?
low-key- Yeah, they're coming in town.
They're coming in town? They're going to stay for a couple days?
Yeah, they're staying for the week, I think.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely. You going to put up the tree?
I am.
Okay, we already got we've had our tree up for 3 weeks.
I think a lot of people decorated earlier this year.
I don't know why. It just struck us. It just struck me
Well,
like...
it was some form of joy.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
was.
I think it was like, well, this is a terribly depressing time of life. Let's... I really love the country that I used to live in. But now Matt Gaetz is going to determine whether or not I go to the bathroom. So you know what? I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. So I decided let's just get it. Let's do it. Let's put it up. Let's mask our depression for the kids with a little bit of joy. And we have loved it. It's been great. We've had it up for 2.5 weeks
It's
now.
fun.
I've been having. It's nice to turn the corner and see the
lights,
everything.
the tree.
The lights,
Yeah.
the tree, the decorations, the stockings.
I like the first look in the morning. And you come down the stairs or come around the corner and
I'm the last one to bed at night often, and so I'm the one to turn off the Christmas tree. So oftentimes it's dark everywhere else in the house except for that Christmas tree.
For the
and
lights.
there is something about that.
There
if we
is.
could just get a snow. If we could just get a snow, but it's 2024. So I don't think it snows anywhere anymore. First of all. Second of all, I think there's a hurricane coming, if I'm not mistaken. It's crazy.
Great.
Yeah. Hurricane for Christmas. That's that's it. Did you hear that The Onion has purchased InfoWars and all of its assets and its website and stuff like that? Now, my dad actually was very confused about what all of this was. He was really confused. And my dad is not an Alex Jones type of guy in any way, shape, or form. He asked while we were watching the Paul Tyson fight, he said, who's this guy who's doing this? And I said, oh, Dad, hey, let me give you the rundown. Alex Jones is way out there. I mean, by any standards, he's way out there. I am not claiming that I'm not stating that everything Alex Jones has ever said is untrue or that there isn't a bit of truth to some of the stuff that he says. I have listened to hours of Alex Jones simply for research purposes. I want to know what the crazies are doing just in case they come to my house. And I will have to say that sometimes Alex Jones will strike upon something that does to me ring a little bit true. But I'm not going to repeat any of those things here because I don't know them to be true. But Alex Jones is a noted conspiracy theorist. He has InfoWars. He is this guy who claimed that there was that some of these school shootings were simply black flag attacks, meaning that they were either recreated whole cloth, like faking going to the moon, faking a school shooting to get people on board with gun reform, or that they were crisis actors involved in the shooting.
It's crazy.
That is insanity of the highest level. It is terribly destructive to the people who are actually affected by these things. And everybody fucking knows it, including Alex. If there's one thing that I think about Alex, it's that he does not believe his own bullshit. I think he's smart enough to know different, and I think he knows that he just happened to get on a money train, a gravy train, that's hard to get off of. So he keeps going crazier and crazier and more loud and more crazy. And Alex, by the way, has his own litany of personal problems going on in his own life. We won't get into those. Just know that because he said these things about the crisis actors and all this other shit, the families of this school shooting, Sandy Hook, they decided to sue him, and they won a judgment against him for $1 billion plus. $1 billion with a B. Now, some people have estimated that Alex Jones' empire, quote unquote, the Alex Jones empire, is worth $300 million, but certainly not $1 billion. And he has TV studios and all this stuff where he was producing all this shit. Even some of his own producers came out and said that they were instructed to magnify this bullshit, and that he never believed it himself. It was just once the gravy train started, he couldn't stop. But the unfortunate thing is that if you tell a tale, there is a sucker. If you're selling something, there is a sucker who will buy it every day of the week. And some people don't know better, and some people are not so smart. Like I've often said on this show, there's a lot of people on earth, and now some of them are not so well.
Yes.
And so anyway, people were, and it's a whole thing. You know it. Okay, so Onion. So in order to pay off this debt,
I love that Onion. I've loved it for so long.
I know. The judge puts all of his assets up for sale, including the website InfoWars and all the other stuff that goes along with it, including the television studios. And there were multiple bidders on the I don't know who's bidding on this. I don't know who wants some old television equipment, a shitty place in Austin, Texas, and a website that's notoriously linked with such terrible things. The Onion wants it. That's who wants it. Yeah. So that they can make fun of him till the day that he passes away. And God bless the Onion. Honestly, God bless the Onion. They must have got, I never found out how much that bid was for, but it cannot have been a lot of money. A couple $1 million, maybe, right? Maybe a couple million, maybe a couple $100,000, because it's just a URL and some old TV equipment. That's all it is. And Alex has moved on, and he will start a new thing, and they will be chasing him for the rest of his life for every dollar that he gets, just like they're doing with Giuliani right now, Rudy Giuliani right now. And
he's just running around.
I know, he's running around,
hiding,
makeup melting off his face, hiding in different locations, stuffing jewelry in his pockets. I mean, what a fall. What a fall, Giuliani.
Yeah.
It could have been so different for you. Could have been so different for you. But Alex will now suffer the same fate, doing the same thing. And eventually people will just stop listening to him altogether, because that's what happens, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's already happening. But I just find that...
I mean, is he even anywhere now? What?
Yeah, he already moved over to a new platform. He's got a new thing.
God.
But the thing is that every time that Alex gets knocked like this, like he got kicked off Facebook, then off Twitter, then off whatever, and then he was just, people had to go to the website to watch him, and it was disseminated some other places, like some, more conservative social media platforms, I'm sure, like Truth Social and Telegram and stuff like that. But the reality for him is that his audience kept getting smaller and smaller, because their ability to find him got smaller and smaller. And now it will take yet another knock. That brand name he spent so many years building, the brand InfoWars, is no longer. And now it will be owned by the Onion, where they can poke at him for the rest of his life. I do think this is a little bit of sweet justice for these families. And, listen, I don't wish any ill will personally against anybody except for Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, If I had any interest in the guy or anything he ever said, it was thrown out after this terrible tragedy, because that's just like, he went beyond the pale. I mean, he took it way too far. Way too far. Meanwhile, I'm selling supplements all day long. Alex Jones, super testosterone booster 3000. He sells supplements. That's what he does. And guess what he sells?
The silver
stuff? Yes.
Yep. Colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver. Get your colloidal silver. It makes you strong. It makes your balls big. Makes your dick long. Makes you hard. I mean, colloidal silver. It turns you silver. There's a whole movie about it.
Yeah.
There's a lady who's literally silver right now in the ground because she just drank colloidal silver till she was blue in the face. Remember that Teresa?
Yeah.
Was that Teresa somebody?
There was a guy too.
Oh, there was a dude. Some people I see on Facebook that I used to go to those parties with seem like they're turning silver. Remember, I had a friend who was like terribly sick, kept claiming he was the most healthy person in the world. Meanwhile, getting a surgery every third day.
Yeah.
And then I think he turned silver at one point, and now no one hears from him anymore. I hope he's okay. Honestly, I do. But he did turn silver. He was blind, so he couldn't see that he was turning silver. But he was turning silver, and people were saying stuff on Facebook to him. They were like, "Hey, dude, you're turning silver," and he would be like, "Fuck you! You're the big state, deep news or fake news." Okay, all right, brother. Well, turn silver then. Sorry about your silver. Sorry about your silver skin. Speaking of Facebook and social media and platforms, it is official. The commercial break has decoupled from Facebook. We are no longer on Facebook. We have deleted the page.
Like we've been posting there anyway.
I think we didn't. I think we never did post there. I think
with the very beginning.
We posted a few times at the very beginning. We got a couple hundred people that followed us, and then we decided to focus our energy elsewhere. But I am over it. So over it.
Yeah.
It is a dead platform. It is all bots and old people at this point, and occasionally one of my crazy friends posting something. Yeah, it's a good place to like send along a message, like if you're getting engaged, or I went to this wedding, or it's an anniversary. Yeah, it's like a calendar reminder is basically what it is, that your friends did something cool and you did not. That's what it is. Or a place for yet some other people to just bitch and complain into the wind, it seems like, to nobody, or to other people who can commiserate with them. So Facebook is gone.
Breaking news.
No breaking news whatsoever. But just know that if you were following us on Facebook, it's not there anymore. So or it won't be there. I think it takes like 10 days for it to actually like wash itself from the platform. So get your jollies now and go look at posts from 2020. So if you give a shit about any of that stuff, go look at it now, because it's all going to be gone really, really, really soon. You know, I do have to say this, that I'm proud of myself, Krissy. I'll tell you why I'm proud of myself. Very rarely am I proud of myself, but today I am.
Please do tell.
Okay, all right, here it goes. There was a time, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but just follow me here. There was a time when I could walk into like a restaurant cooler or open someone's refrigerator or something like that, and I would see a can of whipped cream, and the first thing I would think is Whippets. Let's do Whippets.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I know that lots of people are still doing it. I think I told you that the
local, all the vape stores.
All the vape stores now sell.
Yep. Nitrous.
You used to have to go to a Fish concert. It was someone's dad who was a dentist to get. But it's not I don't know this personally, but I know someone who bought one of those canisters from a head shop, and they said that for some reason it wasn't quite the same thing. And I think it's because they can only sell the the food grade, not the medical grade.
That makes sense.
Nitrous oxide, right? But for those of you that don't know, whipped cream in a can, it has nitrous oxide, this laughing gas, the same stuff you get at the dentist. And that's how they keep it cold and compressed like that. And so now in many states, like in Georgia, you can just buy it. You can buy whole cans of it, bottles of it, big tanks of it. But you can't get the medical grade stuff, like the actual like strong laughing gas, 100% laughing gas, unless you have a license to do so. And I do know that there's lots of people that can do that too. I don't think it's hard. I think you just have to prove that you're some for some good reason you're using nitrous oxide, which I think you just manufacture some paper. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just saying you might be able to do it. Hey, stay tuned, kids. I'll show you how to do all the illegal stuff. But there was a time in my life when nitrous oxide through a whipped cream can was really hard to ignore. It reminds me of a story that when we worked at Chili's, that we would go through whipped cream like it was, for the desserts, because every dessert included whipped cream. You might go through 10 cans of that stuff on a busy Saturday night. No shit. Because just think of all the desserts that got all the whipped cream, and, then kids, you just put extra whipped cream, and, sometimes you make like whipped cream pie, like just whipped cream, that's it, on a bowl, and send it to the kid. But one time the general manager when I was working there, had to have a conversation with the staff because people were just going in there and doing
just huffing it.
Yes. Like whole boxes of Whippet were getting lost because basically we were taking all the nitrous oxide. I say we because I was included in that. We're taking all the nitrous oxide out of it. It was something fun to do in the middle of your shift. Just go and get a quick Whippet, and then you come back and wah, 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 wah. So for years, when I was younger, a whipped cream can was not something you passed by. It was something you huffed, right? That was just the way that it was. I mean, I don't know about you, right? But for me, right? Okay, but I was so proud of myself. Now, I haven't been tempted by a whipped cream can in a long time. I know there's better ways to do it if I want to do it. But
is this the proud part?
This is the proud part. The other day, I was at my dad's, and I opened up the refrigerator door, and they had been to Costco, and they had bought a whole box of whipped cream in a can, like 20 bottles, right? And I looked at it, and just for a second, I was like, everybody's sleeping. No one will notice when the whipped cream is all watery when it comes out. Because Bryan huffed all this stuff. No one will notice that I'm outside with my pants off, howling at the moon. No one will notice. But I was so proud of myself because I was like, nah, you're too old for that shit, Bryan. You got kids now. You don't need to do that.
Good for you.
So proud of myself. Wow. Like little victories, Krissy.
Small
little,
wins.
Tiny little victories. There was one time when we were in Athens and we were visiting a young lady, a hippie chick that her and I had been friends for many years. And we were visiting her in Athens where she was going to school. Me and my friend Eduardo were up there, and it was like a Thursday night or something, not a lot to do. We didn't want to go to the bars, so we decided, let's do some Whippets. So we went from head shop to head shop, trying to figure out if they would give us, at the time, the little cartridges that you could get.
Oh, yeah.
They only sold the cartridges. They did not sell the crackers in order to get into the cartridge. So we bought a couple of boxes, but we could not figure out where to get a thing to open the little cartridges of the Whippets. So in a final act of desperation, we went to Kroger and cleaned out every single whipped cream can that they had. And there was like 30, 40 whipped cream cans. And we put them in a bunch of baskets and we rolled it up to the front. And I'll never forget my dear friend who was like, trying to pay for college with loans, broke out her credit card and we paid like $400 for these whipped cream cans.
Oh my God.
And the guy was like, the guy at the counter, who was an older gentleman, he was like, why are we buying all these whipped creams?
Having a big party.
That's what we said. Yeah. We said ice cream party. Ice cream party. And all I remember is just being really, really intoxicated for most of the night and waking up to many whipped cream cans all over the place.
And a horrible headache.
Oh, man, that's the thing, is that nitrous oxide in that form will give you a fucking headache because who knows what else it has in it. But listen, it's a good time for a couple of minutes. You'll have fun. That's the other thing, too, is it doesn't last very long. And then you learn, I think what stopped all this, the NO2 for me, besides when I go to the dentist and I want it because I don't want to feel the dentist in my mouth, what stopped the nitrous oxide for me is that I learned just how damaging it is to your actual brain cells.
Yeah.
It's not, the reason why you feel the wah, wah, wah is not because of some magic ingredient in the nitrous oxide. It's because it's starving your brain of oxygen, making it's replacing the oxygen in your blood cells, making your brain go haywire for a second. And that's what it is. It turns out you could, what's that? Autoerotic asphyxiation is probably just the same. So go ahead and tie a rope to the back of the closet.
God.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
We've gone off the rails.
Don't Tony Bourdain it. Sustain it with NO2, wild fresh whipped cream. So next time you go to that family event and your mom says, "Can you pick me up some Cool Whip on the way?" You say, "No, Mom, it's Whippets for me." That's the only way to go. And then at least, get through dessert before you do the Whippet. That's my suggestion to you, Krissy. That's my
words to live by.
Well, thank you. It is Thanksgiving. I thought I'd give a little wisdom to the kids. Are you into pickleball?
No, but my dad is.
Oh, your dad's playing pickleball,
It's sweeping the nation.
It is sweeping the nation. I'm just reading about how tennis and pickleball, they're at each other's throat a little bit because a lot of communities are changing their tennis courts into pickleball courts, and some people are up in arms about it. But the guy who leads the National Association of, tennis people, put out a statement and said, actually, pickleball's been great for tennis too.
Yeah.
Because it's generated interest in ball-related sport in general. Yeah.
Yeah, court games.
Hey, listen, I've played pickleball once. It's fine. I've played tennis a lot. It's fine also. Neither are my favorite sport to play, but it's not bad. However, what I saw yesterday on Instagram was, did you see that guy who kicked the other guy in the head playing a pickleball match?
No.
They were going to, it's doubles. So it's 4 gentlemen playing. And the match is over. And one guy screams loudly, "Yeah, look at that. We won," And he goes to shake hands with the other 2, drops his paddle. And when he goes to pick it up, one of the guys on the losing team
kicked him?
I'm talking punted him in the head. And it was way disturbing. I was like, wow, holy fucking shit.
That's bad
crazy.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, that's bad sportsmanship. That's not fun for anybody, is it? Is it?
No.
Do we have to go there? No. I wanted to tell this story last week and never got to it.
The rest of the wedding?
No, not the rest of the wedding story. I'm going to tell that, but give me There's reasoning, and I'll explain when we get there.
Okay.
But okay, just settle down, everybody. Settle down. I don't quite want to tell the wedding story yet. I really do have a good reason. Last week, I got invited to a civic presentation. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
A presentation where some civic leaders are going to show up, including the mayor of Shitsville here, where I live. And I got to tell you, I thought I was in a movie like Best in Show. Yes.
A Christopher Guest movie.
Yes, I did. I was wondering when somebody was going to pop out and say, we're filming this for, I don't know, Mr. Beast or something like this, because it was the most insane thing I've ever seen. So this was at a school. The kids were there. The school was being presented an award for this, that, or the other thing.
Congratulations.
Yes. Not to me. I had nothing to do with it. I just was invited to come watch. So what you've got, let me set the scene for you. You've got an auditorium full of middle school children, okay?
Okay.
So probably 200 or 300 middle school children. You've probably got about 150 adults in the room sitting up front in the first 3 or 4 rows. You've got a stage. That stage has a full middle school band on it. They're all standing there, just lovely as can be, ready to play for the dignitaries in the room. And then you've got the mayor of Shitsville. I'm not going to mention where I live because whatever. And so the principal of the school gets up and she says, "We're so excited to receive this award for, it's such an honor and we've done so well. And this goes out to all the students and faculty who made this happen and the parents who are supportive and yada, 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 all the pleasantries you would expect." And she was just as lovely as could be. We'd like to hear a song that the band has prepared for us. And it was like Wind Beneath My Wings or something, right? With two poor children who are just scared shitless doing a duet together, you know. You're my hero. I wanna be the wind beneath my wings. Meanwhile, while the band has got like the recorder, you know. Okay, fine. That is to be expected. You just expect that coming out of a middle school with children.
Yeah.
Like they did the best they could. They really were brave for getting up there and agreeing to do it in the first place. And I give them all the credit in the world for doing it. Because I was in band once too. And I know once you get up on the stage, it's a scary thing. Like there's a lot of people watching you and you feel like they're all watching you and that zit on your nose. But anyway, so then somebody gets up and he starts giving this like biography, this big hyped, you know, at the age of 3, our next distinguished guest found himself, you know, in the bayou of Louisiana, raising himself up, wrestling gators, saving babies, taking children out of flamey orphanages. You know, I mean, it just went on and on and on. It was like this big hype fest. It was almost like the mayor had hired a hype man or handed him the thing to read, which I started to assume at age 17, he joined ROTC, where he was named the best ROTC man ever in the history of ROTC. He was almost hurt in combat, and overseas. It was just like this 15-paragraph biography where the guy could do no wrong, and he was the hero in every paragraph. And I started to think to myself, did the mayor write this himself? Did he write this himself? Because no one, you're my best friend. You could write a hype piece about me to introduce me somewhere. You could not find 10 really nice things to say about me that were impressive. Every sentence was impressive. And it started to sound like bullshit after a minute.
Maybe
and I was
maybe it was somebody who wanted to curry favor.
I think that's what was going on. Curry favor, or again, it was handed to him to read on behalf of the office of the mayor. Now, let me tell you about the mayor of Shitsville. The mayor of Shitsville, I know a few things about. He is roundly disliked here in our community. He won by a small margin. When it looked like he might not win, the election was rigged.
Rigged.
Rigged. Betcon. He was not going to concede.
Recount.
He was not going to concede. He was getting investigators, lawyers, and attorneys. He's just one of these people who just gets all riled up and can't find a way to gracefully bow out or lose. So it had to be him was the one that was the winner, or it was illegitimate altogether. Now, he did win legitimately by a couple hundred votes. But he is just this type of personality who has zero political experience in his life and does not know how to address a crowd without getting ultra political. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You've got a room full of children. You've got maybe 150 adults in the room. You are talking to the kids. This is a school presentation.
It was an award.
Yes. But here. You ready?
Yes.
Please give a warm welcome to Mayor Flugelhorn. Mayor Flugelhorn. Like warm applause. Okay. Hi, children. I'm so proud to be here today with the distinguished principal and you children here and your parents and others. What an honor it is. What an award you've won. I want to talk a few minutes about God. God is the most important thing in any one person's life. And that's why I have decided to start all city council meetings with prayer. And since I'm starting all city council meetings with prayer, I want you to go home tonight and remind your parents of the importance of prayer. I want you to tell them that you would like to start every morning with prayer and end every day with prayer. Because if you don't start your morning with prayer, your 5-inch screen will start to take over your life. Do you know what the 5-inch screen is, children? And they're all like, a phone?
Yeah.
Instagram has been programming you since the day you got on it. And TikTok is controlled by Chinese media conglomerates that are posting things directly inside your brain. And the 5-inch screen will control your life unless God intervenes. And that is why today I would like to tell you a little story about myself. When I was 5 years old, I found myself opening the cookie jar after my mother told me not to. And when I did, I took a cookie even though my mother told me not to, and I closed the cookie jar. She did not know that I took that cookie. But after reflection and prayer with our Lord Savior Jesus Christ, I decided that it was time to tell my mom that I took that cookie from the cookie jar. And when I did, she said the following words to me: God will save you, my son. And that is my message here today for all of you and your 5-inch screens. Put them away and put the Lord in your hands. The Lord is the one who will save you, and only the one that will save you. When it seems like transgenderism is going to take over the world with its homosexuals and its polyamory, God will save us. When bastards want to claim that elections are fair and free when clearly they're rigged, God will save us. When women want to assert themselves in households and talk back to their husbands, as my wife sometimes does. Am I right, honey? Am I right? God saves us. So let us end with a prayer here today. Now, I swear on all this holy. Now, maybe I'm getting a little bit exaggerative. This went on for 5 minutes. This whole rah, sis, boom, bah, about God. Like super conservative Christian ha-hooey. In a school that is not a parochial school. It has nothing to do with Christianity. It's not one of those kind of schools. But he went on and on and on, even joking that his wife gets out of line sometimes and he has to pray to God on how to put her back in line. Krissy,
Jeez.
the principal of this school, who is a girl boss, I just might say, was standing behind him looking increasingly uncomfortable about all things that were going on in here, to the point where she kind of continued to like creep up on the stage
And closer.
where she was in his peripheral vision, and then finally, like, you know, almost I kind of took the microphone out of his hand. This tweed, by the way, he was wearing like a bright orange shirt with a dark blue tweed blazer. It was a clown suit is what it was for the most part. And the kids in the audience couldn't have gotten less out of the conversation that he had for them. But he just went on and on and on. And it reminded me of such what strange times we live in when these things are usually just very ceremonial. Congratulations to the kids. Congratulations.
Sure,
You're
yeah.
at a wonderful school and your faculty has done a great job and you're the future and we can't wait for you to do great things in our society and help our communities grow. You kids, you really got a good thing going here. Keep it up, right? Today is the Shitsville U School Day, right?
Yeah.
I hereby declare it's Shitsville U School Day. And then leave. That's it. Shake a few hands, kiss a few babies. But everything is so fucking partisan these days that you can't get up and have a microphone without spouting some crazy fucking shit. And it drove me up a wall. You should have, if he could have, I'm sure he was looking at me at some point and he could see the clear look of disdain on my face.
Arms crossed.
Yeah. Oh, arms crossed. I think I made a blowjob motion at one point. Like, it was so highly partisan.
Yeah.
And I thought, what about the other people in the room who maybe don't feel the same way you do about God and Jesus Christ? Like, is it okay that we exist too? Is it all right that we're here also? Can't we just talk about the school and forget about it? Do we have to talk about transgender bathroom use when it's not a problem? There's nobody here having that problem that I know of, that I'm aware of. I mean, for God's sakes, Krissy, what are we going to do?
Vote him out.
Well, I didn't vote him in. That wasn't my choice.
That's my opinion!
I swear to God, Krissy.
Was there anybody else that kind of, you looked around and everybody was like, God, what?
I definitely got the sense that some of the teachers were snickering.
Yeah.
I definitely saw a couple people right in front of me moving around in their seat in a way that would indicate that maybe they didn't feel comfortable with what was going on. But I don't want to speak. I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth. And maybe it's very well possible that everybody knew exactly what he was going to say. But I don't think he gave a copy of those remarks ahead of time and everybody was like, sounds good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, you were pretty upset about it.
I was upset about it. I felt that it was wholly inappropriate. And as a dignitary also in the room.
Yeah.
As a dignitary in the room, I felt it was rather unfair that we had to be subjected to that shit. I just wanted to go there and help the school celebrate. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. But, whatever. To each their own. I'm also well aware that, there's plenty of people that don't share the same opinions I do. So
yeah,
I just got a good dose of the other side of the aisle at a time when I didn't expect it.
Forced dose.
Forced perspective. All right. Well, here we are, Thanksgiving week, and we'll be here with you for the rest of the week. I hope you're enjoying what I assume is some time off with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. Turn on that Thanksgiving Day parade tomorrow, and then follow it up with the Kennel Show, and then the commercial break. It's a trifecta you can't lose. You'll go from super celebratory to awfully depressing, and then it'll be a day you can't remember. Then turn on, I think there's a 600-pound life marathon on TLC to help you count those calories.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm not watching any 600-pound life, that's for sure. No way. All right, TCBpodcast.com. That's where, what is going on?
I don't know. I
looked
over at the TV.
Wow. Reminds me of that fight.
Wow.
The Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
TCBpodcast.com. That's where you go. More information about the show and Krissy and I. You can get your free sticker by going to the Contact Us button. Drop-down menu says, I want my free sticker. Give us your address. We'll send you one. No muss, no fuss. All the audio and video is there, too. You can watch it and listen to it, all that good stuff. Please subscribe on your favorite podcast player. Follow us. That would be huge. It'd make a world of difference to us. At the commercial break on Instagram, TCB Podcast on TikTok, YouTube.com/The Commercial Break. Soon, every episode of The Commercial Break will be on video on YouTube and on Spotify. So check that out. 212-433-3TCB. Okay, Krissy, I guess that's all I can do for today. But I'll tell you that I love you.
I love you.
Best to you.
Best to you.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, Krissy and I always say, we do say, and we must say, goodbye.